Forest fans. We've got an awesome match for you. I believe this is the last of the day, and it's going to be part of the upper bracket preliminary round between Sloaters and ThisIsNotSully. I am Trojan12, and I am joined in person in the same apartment by Kiriru. How are you doing today, Kiriru?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty awesome. I'm really excited for this match. As I say again, this is part of the preliminary round of the upper bracket. So the person who loses this match will not be out of the tournament. They'll just drop down to the lower bracket where everyone else is that was at their fourth seed. And then the winner of this is going to have to face the number 2 seed, Uncle Ronnie. So,
oh boy, that's going to be quite an interesting lineup right there.
Yeah, especially since Ronnie has pulled out, 29 in the tournament already. So he's a force to be reckoned with. But this is a very interesting match in and of itself. Do you want to talk a little bit about Sloaters in particular?
Yeah, so it looks like that Sloaters is only controller only, and his average race time is 37 minutes, so like 37, 38, and then his best race time was 36. But right now he is in another tournament for the Super Metroid, and he is doing both at the same time. I know he hasn't had that much practice, but I know that, between going for both the tournaments, he's doing his best.
Yeah, and then from Sully's side, Sully's been really putting on the grind to improve his time. And right now he's at a 33:14, which he just got about a week and a half ago. And in this tournament, already has had a 6-minute improvement on his personal best with a best race time of 34:31. And this is very interesting. Sloaters is definitely the seasoned veteran of this and is not going to be skipping clean water. So is going to be doing a Ginso escape route that you may remember from the last tournament, whereas Sully is going KBM is going to do the swamp entry stuff. I always love commentating these controller versus KBM matchups because it's like, who's the better one? It's always been the tried and true conversation for Ori, since both are very viable.
Well, and it's nice to see like the difference between a pure controller and a pure KBM, because then like you're not seeing the hybrid, you get to see the actual differences between the two gameplay styles.
Yeah, especially with the way that some of those bash setups that we found for right after you get it in Ginso Tree and whatnot, and then also the way swamp entry was if Sloater was going to do it. You'll see, I think Sully goes for a little bit of double bashing in there for the swamp entry. So I think we're going to be getting underway. I love these like moving backgrounds, but also these awesome graphs that our stats production team put together. Just seeing that, like, in the early game, Sloaters has actually been the stronger person. I asked Sully before the race how he felt about it. He's like, he always feels like his early game has sucked. He wants to be improving on it. He's practiced that a lot. So maybe with that practice, they can be a little more even in the early game.
Yes, but it does look like Sully does have an overall balance in most of the game where, his early, his late, and his mid and late, they're pretty balanced. So the early game is definitely something that I'm going to keep my eye out for.
Yeah, and it looks like we are officially off right now, and doesn't look like any color codes, unfortunately, for the start right here. So both runners opting to just play, vanilla Ori. I'm cool with that. Vanilla is pretty delicious, especially with ice cream. So I'm cool with that. And they're on their way to pick up their first skill sign. So not too much, just running and jumping. You won't see too much of a difference here. They'll be synced up for a lot of this. But since you're a hybrid runner, Kiriru, how do you feel as far as like shooting with Sign and Spirit Flame versus controller and KBM?
Oh, it's very different between the two. I've even thought to myself like, oh, should I just play KBM in the beginning because of how Sign shot, like the shots and the time pacing for that. I know for Sloaters, he's not going to be able to pace it better than a KBM user, because with Sloaters, he's going to be, not really timing it. He's just going to kind of mash that button because that's the best method with the controller.
Yeah, and coming into the Frankie Walk Fire here, you're going to see Sully getting a couple of those, looks like scroll wheel pace shots right there. So just a tiny bit of lead right now, but both runners did a really good job on that Frankie fight.
Yeah.
So not too much difference.
The thing that I'm noticing with Sloaters is that he's jumping more, but it is easier to jump on the controller because it's just like a little light input versus a KBM. I mean, I know it's easy to jump on the KBM too, but it just feels more natural on the controller versus the KBM.
Yeah. And it's all like, that's why with the hybrid setups, it's really interesting because you have to become comfortable with what you are. But since these guys do completely KBM and completely controller, they can get 100% comfortable with their control method and, you know, try and get some consistency with that.
Yeah. And that's why I'm interested. Being a hybrid myself, I literally will switch from controller to KBM in the middle of a sequence in my movement, and so it's very nice to see the pure difference between these two.
Yeah, so it looks like Sully got a little bit of a lead right there. Had a cleaner approach to the ghost door right there. Only about a 3-4 second difference so far as they both go for the safety 4th health cell, which is nice because you get a heal right here, right for this elbow section going down to wall jump. Brings a little bit of added safety. We'll have to see. There's been a very large difference between whether people will level up on the way down or level up on the way up from wall jump. So we'll have to see that here in a little bit.
Yeah. But how much of a difference that they're both at right now? So it looks like, how many seconds apart?
I think only about like 3 seconds right now. So it's still pretty close. Slowly opting to do a little bit of a damage boost method right here. Sloaters is going to take it a little bit slow. I noticed that Sloaters completely skips that flower on the ceiling that a lot of other runners had opted for in their XP route.
But Sloaters did check his EXP. Definitely wanted to make sure that he was on the right part on his path to his XPville.
Yep. So we're getting our second skill, but first, like, really important environmental skill, which is wall jump. And coming in a really good time of 3:27, very solid. You know, Sully talking about his early game is a good start to it so far. Did mention though that he's a little less confident about Blackroot Burrows coming up, which, you know, is very spooky and very scary, and a lot of things can kill you there.
Yeah, I mean, the whole run, the early game of the run, it's really nice to watch and see these two players go at it. But once you get to Blackroot's Burrow, everything changes because everyone is game to die to spikes, to shots, to anything.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things from this tournament, as we've seen strats develop, is where people will take safety saves. Some people opt to do it, you know, before the jump over the spikes to the orb, right when they get the orb, on the way back, right before the jump. So, yeah, very good movement over there by both Sully and Sloaters. They've been keeping pace with each other very, very well so far in this early game.
And so right now, Sully is 10 seconds faster than his tournament best at this moment in time. Yeah.
So again, like we said, Sully doing a good job with the early game so far. Even though he's taking a little bit of a cautious approach to it, he's not going for these like super micro optimizations. But, you know, as long as you don't die, that's the most important thing.
And then now we have our first fun, I would say our first fun trick.
Yeah, it's fun, you know, depending on who you talk to. Also, very interesting thing with what you just saw from Sully's screen. Sully actually opts to do magnetless, and so he picked up Quick Flame right there. And at the Darkness cutscene skip is going to take up Rekindle, so does not opt to grab Magnet. I don't think he gets Magnet for the whole run, whereas Sloaters is going with the more, you know, popular one of getting Magnet early.
Yeah, because there is a huge difference between getting magnet versus not getting magnet. It's pretty important. Ooh. So Sully did take a death.
Yeah, and oh, that's right, because Sloaters is not going to is going to be doing the Genso escape, so doesn't have to get that extra level up right here. So is not going to have to get this XP orb. So getting a little bit of a lead because doesn't have to make this detour right now. And Sully is playing this really safely. Unfortunately, had a little bit of problem. Oh man, gets hit as well right there. So really struggling right now, getting trolled by the spider.
While Sloaters, he's just making his way up, just going through the rotation of these beautiful little platforms. And now he's going to be coming up to the next trick.
I don't know if I think he has, does not have an extra ability still, so not going to do the Darkness cutscene, which is totally fine. It only saves a little bit. Oh, Sully is really struggling with BRB right now. I don't want to take away from what Sloaters and the pace he's on right now, but Sully, you know, mentioning his early game, he's definitely and doesn't do the save and reload, so on a really bad cycle. So right now, Sloaters has opened up quite a bit of a lead, you know, going into this final room of Blackroot Burrows.
Oh, so Sloaters is gonna drop that and try to see if he can get that laser. He makes it. Nice jump. He was jumping perfectly on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a little minor thing too is you saw both of them waiting before getting to that platform right there. That is a purposeful cycle manipulation so that the platforms in the final room are in a particular cycle. You're going to see it coming up on Sully's screen right now, and Sloaters got it pretty much on the same amount of manipulation as Sully. So are you ready to go fast?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is where I think the game will change, definitely, especially when you get the dash skill. It's very important. It will change Ori in the way that she moves and the way that you will have her movement with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you'll see it on this, you know, quick movement over here. A little minor thing that not a lot of people we've been seeing from a lot of people. There was a new like couple second save where you can actually cutscene stack, but really I don't believe I've seen anybody really opt for it so far in the bracket stage, because it is a bit risky. You do some blind movement and you know, you can fall all the way down to BRB and it auto saves, and that's a really unfun time.
Ooh, so we're doing this famous froggy walk. Everybody will go through this. It's quite a walk. The froggy obviously will jump to you. Depending on where Ori is placed, the froggy is somewhat landing in the place where the direction of Ori is staying at. And so right now, Sloaters is just bringing the froggy right on over so that we can get to the next stage, which is the Death Grotto. Grotto Death.
Yeah.
Gauntlet.
Yeah, and that's and a nice extra energy drop right there. That's a 10% chance it's going to use it right away. Just a nice added safety. So if you accidentally die to the Frankie or to one of the crushers over here, then you can not have it. And does not get hit by that. Very nice adjustment right there. Was going for a death glide, which saves a couple seconds, but if you fall down right there, it can cost you a lot of time. But does get through it fine.
And even if he did have that nice safety save, so that wasn't too much of a deficit, but it's nice that he didn't die.
Yeah, that actually gives Sully a little bit of a chance, as Sully opts to take a little bit of a dash glide to dunk the Frankie, makes it a little bit closer. And just, you know, with Click Flame, just shredding through these brambles right here. So really making up a bit of time with that movement.
Yes.
And Sloaters, unfortunately, did not get the Grotto cycle right there, so Sully can get a little bit of time to catch up.
Now, the way that Grotto cycle works, I call it the God cycle.
Yeah, yeah. Either it both. You've seen it. People call it both ways. Okay, a little bit of a weird dash ramp right there.
Yeah, so they both did not. They weren't able to do the Grotto cycle, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But essentially, you're trying to make it so that you are in the perfect place for the cycle, so that you are able to save 8 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness gracious! Sloaters with a nice dodge right there on the slime shot. If you don't think those 3 weird kind of angled shots won't kill you, just play this game casually. You'll die to it at least about 50 times. You can't underestimate those slimes, but a really nice adaptation right there from Sloaters, as Sully does a nice dash glide over there and is getting to his tree, and we'll do a little bit of blind movement right here.
Yes. Now, see, you are seeing the difference between these 2 routes. There's different XP routes. There's different, you know, someone took the darkness, someone didn't. I mean, you definitely see like a major difference between these routes, but these players are still very close to each other. And Sully was able to make up that time, and he's getting pretty close.
Yeah, it looks like the current delta at double jump was 20 seconds. So Sully made up a tiny bit amount of time during that section right there. But Sloaters, I believe that was a first try Grotto skip. That's, you know, that's going to put a little bit of extra pressure on Sully. Let's see if Sully can get it. And
yeah, he does. They both got the first Grotto skip. That's very impressive. That skip right there is pretty hard.
Yeah, it's a really tiny window right there to double jump off the wall. So yeah, so Sloaters is again because doing the Ginso escape route is opting not to get that 100 XP right there for an additional level up. That Sully's going to have to grab up here because the way XP works is it increases how much you need per when you start leveling up. So
Sully gets the EXP, but Sloaters didn't.
Yeah, exactly. So Sloaters right here, just making nice movement right there, going up through this like back and forth switchback, is gonna not have to get this teleporter either. So all these like little mini time saves right now that Sully's gonna, if Sully gets about a first or second try swamp entry, will make up all of that time because Sloaters is costing about 35 seconds doing the Ginso escape.
Yes. However, it's still anyone's game at this point.
Yep. And so Sloaters is getting this ability shell right here. One of the harder jumps to optimize in the early game, but does a really nice job getting to it. Sully's going to be coming up to it a little bit. And do you want to talk about, since we're getting to the Ginso tree right now, you want to talk about how we use this explosion that you just saw on Sully's screen?
Oh, on Sully's screen? So the explosion is essentially you get enough EXP. So it's important to know your EXP route during this run because essentially you need to know when you're going to level up and how much you're going to be leveling up and where you're going to be leveling up. Because what happens is once you do level up completely, you have the whole entire that screen, anything that's on that screen. So if there's an explosion, essentially it will, you know, you're pretty much godlike for about how many seconds?
It's for a couple seconds for the explosion, yeah.
But it will, you know, anything on that screen is not going to be there anymore.
Yeah. So we'll see that here in a little bit more on Sloater's screen when he gets to the top of the Ginso tree. But first, we got the first half, which is all using double jump. Oh, and then takes a death right there and is going to...
And then the camera was messed up.
Yeah, so they're about equal right now. Look at this sync right here because of that death. That was huge. And now we're just, oh my God, this is incredible. Oh no, but takes another hit because of where the slime was right there.
Yes, and so now Sloaters, it seems like Sloaters is kind of trying to recover from his death as well as getting hit by the slime.
Yeah, Sully made quick work of both of the first rooms here in Ginso. I don't think Sloaters opted to take a save on this time around, but it's just going to take it nice and slow, wait for all these gamer cycles, as Sully is going towards the puzzle room right now with a little bit of a lead because of Sloaters' mistakes.
Yes. And so right now we're just kind of seeing them go through the Ginso tree, navigating through the wonderful portals that we go through.
Yeah, I really enjoyed casually, you know, learning how all these portals work, each way they go and whatnot. It gets a little bit confusing when you first do it, but it's really cool how you can optimize your movement because of the way the portals work.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Sloaters, even though he did have that death, he is still playing very well. You know, he's recovered himself, and I think he's trying to just keep on track and adjust from what he's done.
Yeah, and the new delta as of the puzzle room is 16 seconds, but as our stats person mentioned, we are going to see a quicker mini boss from Sully because Quick Flame allows you to add 3 shots in there instead of the normal 2. So it's going to just melt through it a little bit quicker. You can actually get a 4 cycle with Quick Flame. So Sully had a really nice mini boss. So far, Sloaters has had a pretty good mini boss. A little bit trolled on this final spawn, but and just doesn't get those last couple hits.
And so this is where the difference between a controller and a KBM, the advantage of a KBM can shine right, especially at this mini boss.
Yeah. Opting to not take a safety save, very interesting on Sloaters' side. I guess just feels pretty confident with this movement. And a really nice swag double jump right there. And we're going to see him go get last couple keystones, take a nice damage boost to set up for this ghost store. As we see Sully go over to the second half of the Ginso tree with our new ability Bash.
Yeah, and so right now we're actually coming up to a very beautiful key duping situation. What you do is you navigate through this room. You have to get at least about 3 rooms. And then he is potentially taking that damage boost so that he can die faster when he reaches to the top. And what essentially will happen is that once that orb is inside and all the keys are in, and you die, you are able to dupe those keys.
Yeah, it saves the state of it because for some reason, you know, you were trying to use those keys. You don't want to lose them, right? So the game is nice to you and just gives them back. So Sully had a nice fast key dupe setup right there by falling right into the nook that he needed to. And Sloater's just about to start his key dupe right now. So definitely Sully's getting a little bit of more of a lead with some cleaner movement right now in the Ginso tree.
Yes, he is. Now, from my understanding, Sully is 18 seconds behind his PB at Bash.
Yeah, and also that's a tournament best as well. So Sully's on a really good pace right now. You know, it was a 34 in the previous group stage, so he had a really high bar for himself considering his PB is a 33. So the fact that he's that close to his PB is a really, really good thing.
Oh, did he miss the first key
I
dupe?
think Sloaters might have missed his first key dupe, unfortunately. I don't know if he got the rekindle off right there. I couldn't tell, but hopefully he did get it, and hopefully he just, you know, doesn't have a problem with it. A little bit of spookiness right there, trying to get to that first keystone, but does adapt his movement pretty well. We see lasers on Sully's screen. What are we doing right now?
So in Sully's screen right now, he's going into this swamp entry. He's going to be doing a very, very fun, another fun trick called the froggy. I'm not exactly well known to this. Oh, but the frog dies. So essentially what you're doing is you're trying to bring the frog over so that you're going to be able to get past this barrier that Ori has to go through. In order to do that, you need to use the frog's projectile in order to open that barrier for Ori. Now, the thing about this trick is that it's very, very movement based as well as timing these shots. It looks like Sully's not doing the double bash for that shot.
Yeah, is actually going to opt for a little bit more of the controller style method of baiting that shot up high, and does the smart thing, waits to make sure the shot actually hits, doesn't do anything weird, and is going to make his way to the swamp tree as we see the beautiful Ginso escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it looks like he went through his core skip very well, and so now he's heading into the Ginso tree escape, and this is like a very neat tree, especially for me. So I'm having fun watching this. It's a very fun sequence of, you know, trying to escape from the water. You don't want to, you know, get trapped by that water. That was a nice one shot. And then flower petal it.
Oh, but unfortunately it goes back to the flower petal instead of falling to the left, so it takes a death right there. That's gonna open up a much larger lead for Sully now, because already Sloaters going this way is losing him about 35 seconds, so dying in here makes that time loss a lot more brutal.
Yes, and one death in this place is very, very hard, especially you have to go through that whole sequence again. You know, if you were to die in the beginning, you would have to redo it, but the later you die, the more you have to go through again.
Yeah, so Sully exits the stomp tree. Oh, and another death. That's really awful for Sloaters right here. Sloaters, take energy, please. Please clean the water. We want to be able to swim later. It's the nice, clear waters. Nigel takes another hit right there. I think...
While he's going through his sequence of going through Ginso, Sully did completely go through the swamp entry, got stomped, able to get out, and now we're going to the next sequence for Kuro Skip.
Yeah, so it's gonna get into a precise position right there, and nothing happens, so that means got the Kuro cutscene skip, and takes another death for Sloaters right there. That time on the little shot spawns going up that vertical area. And man, this is I hope Sloaters is not hurting his mentality all too much. Oh, Sully, that was so close.
Yes. So right now it's pretty interesting that you're seeing these different routes going on, and yes, Sully did take a different route. But you know, he's going through and he's going to go to the next part, which is going to be Sorrow, and heading into that direction while we're still on the Ginso tree escape with Sloaters, and just get that. There you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm watching him because on controller during this sequence, it is hard. It's not an easy time to like time everything, and then you're dealing with the bashing and then the dead zone of the bashing. It is harder to do Ginso escape with the controller. That's why I do KBM.
Yeah, so Sully, I don't think Sully went, I don't know if he went for the dash glide, but he didn't get the dash glide, so he had to jump up on there, do it a little bit slower way. But you level up right there, so we skipped the tutorial area with the spirit tree, because we already know what we're trying to do in this game. and we're just gonna go on our merry way to Sorrow Pass right here. But first, we're in the Valley of the Wind area, and a lot of really awesome movement. Oh, kills the bird right there, man. Rip bird.
And so right now, Sloaters is heading up to the Stomp area, and Sully is going to be going into Sorrow, well, leading his way to Sorrow.
Yeah, and you know, as much as Sloaters is behind right here, the late game is very, very deadly. As we see, Sully takes a hit on accident right there with trying to bash that frog. But that late game can be a problem, you know, at times because of how many things do like 3, 4, you know, 5 damage and such. So Sully's got to be very, very careful. Oh, takes another hit, so a nice safety save to get a refill of energy that would have killed him otherwise. So very, very nice job by Sully, as Sully is going up to Fast Stompless trick right now.
Yes. And it looks like a couple people want to understand the difference between these routes right now. So with the Genso Tree escape route, there is a difference of 25 seconds, or is it 30 seconds?
About 30, 35 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so right now, Sloaters is doing a different route from Sully. What Sloaters is doing is an older route that we used in the last tournament. With Sully, he's doing the newer route that was discovered just recently.
Yeah.
I would say within the past few
Actually,
months.
there's a funny story behind that. So that was actually found by Matt Insane during the randomizer tournaments. That was a way to get into Swamp without the charge jump ability. So I actually found it. Was like, well, it's faster and whatnot. So you're seeing the kind of the rewards of it is that, you know, taking those subsequent attempts right there is actually, you know, faster to reset up rather than dying against the escape. But Sloaters has been actually doing a pretty good job on the split right now. Very solid movement on the way, as we see Sorrow bash right now from Sully with getting a little bit of a safety save going on here, which I find really, really smart. Even though Sully's actually not watching Sloaters, so has no idea that Sully has this large of a lead right now.
Yes, and Sully did take a death, unfortunately, into the Sorrow entrance. And now a second one, but you can still keep going. And while Sloaters is getting into the next phase where he's heading into the Fast Stompless area.
Oh, and Sully takes another death right here. So Sloaters is actually making a little bit of time up right now. And I know Sloaters is generally, you know, okay with his late game, especially in his major group stage match. You know, that was a big deal on why he won. So if he keeps this up, he might be able to. Sully actually does get it on, I believe that was 4th try. So good job on Sully. Is going to come up here and break a couple, break the ceiling and then head up towards charge jump.
And then we're heading into, now we're going to be going and getting charge jump. Sorry, the navigation through these spikes are very, very clenching, because any spike at this point can kill Sully, because he only has 4 health. And so it's important to know that these spikes from here on out, they're very, very dangerous to navigate through.
Yeah, even, you know, as we go back to kind of, we're going out of sequence here right now. When we go to Misty, those still do 3 HP of damage. So still very, very spooky, because 2 hits right there will kill you. So Sloaters is making his way into Valley of the Wind right now, getting that extra ability cell. These farming ability cells is to get the charge dash ability right after we do the Fast Stompless to break the rocks and get glides. So
and Sully is doing now, he just did the Terror Break and he was successful first try. And now he's just going to navigate to the Sunstone.
Yeah, and the reason why that Terror Break trick works is actually because if you charge jump and kill yourself, for some reason, if you still hold those inputs, it'll save the state of the charge jump right next to the ceiling, and it'll break it for you. So very interesting trick that, you know, save states are very interesting in this game.
Okay, so it looks like Sloaters is going to go for Yep, it looks like Sloaters is going for Fast Stompless. See, now for Fast Stompless, I believe it's a 50-50%. Or that was Cura Skip.
I don't know. I think maybe it was 50-50. I know Sloaters has been implementing it a little bit more recently. So that shot looked good.
It gets it the first try. Nice.
Very nice job. Ooh, Sully, you know, tries to go for a faster cycle right there and gets sniped by the bottom laser. So unfortunately has to go back up. Is going to take it a little bit slower this time, and is going to make his way down to Misty right there. So, but really great job by Sloaters right there. You know, under pressure, you know, he's had a pretty solid mid game, I'd say, you know, after that
and Sully take a death at those spikes. See, those spikes are fun little things that are very pokey.
Yeah, definitely. And we see Sully get a little bit of like mouse waving circles, just showing displeasure of dying right there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's always kind of interesting to see when a KVM uses their mouse. Sometimes they use it because they're just drawing circles, but I think in this case it was because of how he died. Oh, he did take a hit from the bird. Sloaters.
Okay, everything's fine. But as we saw in there, Sloaters has not missed Sorrow Bash yet, so is now down to 2. Let's see if he can clutch it out. Again, a seasoned veteran has been really, really solid in a good spot. Gets it. Beautiful job.
Yes, that was a beautiful first try.
Yeah, and again, doesn't have to grab that ability cell because as apparently, but takes a death. So he's gonna have to do it again. Just upping his stats right now, trying to get more. Takes a little bit of a hit right there, and all right, looks good.
I mean, hey, we could do first try 2 times, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it.
As you know, once Sully got, we haven't been looking at it because we've been watching Sloaters of Sorrow right now.
But it looks like Sully's in Misty, and he's navigating beautifully.
Yeah, Sloaters got it again. So
nice. First try 2 times.
So 5 out of 5. Still hasn't missed Sarbash. Thank you, stats person, for confirming that for us. And he's gonna grab an extra energy, probably to go up there and make a safety save. Yes. But Sully, in the meantime, after those couple quick deaths, just absolutely shredded Misty, the first half of Misty. So great job by Sully with that late game movement.
Yes, and now we're gonna see something else that's a little bit of a old technique that we used to do in the Ori community before Terror Break, was called juggle froggy walk. No, not froggy walk.
Just frog juggle.
Frog juggle. But yeah, so we're seeing this, and it's a pretty. This is what we used to do before Terror Break. I love you, Terra, for finding the break.
So you have to actually bring this frog up there with you in order to break the ceiling by baiting again a shot. So is doing good so far. Looks like the health is totally fine, and is gonna bash upward and looks good, and is gonna probably go down and do a rocket jump. And very, very nice job by Sloaters right there.
And now, Sully, that was pretty impressive with the stop cancels. And he's doing a great job just navigating through this Misty, going in there. I mean, I don't know where his energy's at, but it looks like it's pretty good.
Yeah. Takes a little bit on that last meatball in the shaft, right? And he's out of energy. So after he got that 2 energy, that's all he had left. So let's see if he actually decides to. Yeah, he's going to actually not go for the rocket jump this time, adjusting his strats accordingly. And that's always really awkward. It's like, I want to charge dash to this guy, but you just like keep jumping around and flailing because you can't do anything.
Yeah, but it is a smart strategy to be a little bit more cautious and go with the knowledge of the game, go with the backup. Ooh, he did take a hit from the mini boss. So I mean, it is smart for him to adjust to that manner because he is ahead and he doesn't want to really lose too much time deficit, and so playing more cautiously when you're this far ahead isn't necessarily the bad decision to make.
Yeah, so Sully does, after a little bit of skitty at the start, does evaporate the mini boss afterward, is going to make his way out. We're going to skip that orb. We don't need that orb because we're not going to the second dungeon, and does some really nice movement out here by Sully. As Sloaters just got to charge jump right now, it's going to take a nice leisurely bash glide over through these spikes again, and is going to go and head out of Sorrow right now. Yeah.
Now we're heading ourselves into Misty after you go to Sorrow.
Yeah.
And now Sully is going to be going through Black Bruce Barrow again, getting this beautiful skill that we call Grenade Jump. Now, what's so fun about Grenade Jump?
So yeah, with the light grenade skill, grenade jumping can be used. It's another frame perfect trick where you have to do grenade and then charge jump off a wall frame after, but it lets you do some really sick movement, and we use it for a way to skip at least like half of the final cutscene in the game. Whereas there are some other routes people will do, like what's 20 seconds, where you can actually do grenade jumps through all of this section of Misty after climb that Sloaters is gonna be getting pretty soon.
Yeah, it looks like Sloaters is out of energy at the. Oh nope, no, not yet.
No, just not opting for a safety save. Very interesting from Sloaters.
Yeah, I mean, Misty's a pretty risky area because a lot of the enemies do hit hard and the spikes hit harder. So for you to not do a safety save, that's a pretty, I would say, ballsy kind of thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, Sully gets sniped a little bit by the laser right there. I think he fell into the laser. So this time taking it a little bit slower. Is gonna try and do some movement. Ooh, very. Oh! The extra meteor kick right there.
Oh wow!
I think accidentally presses rocket jump by right after and does a little bit of zigzagging vertically. And holy moly, Sully, just very happy to not get sniped by that laser right there.
Yeah, I think that was perfectly timed. But that was something that you definitely do not want to expect in a race.
Yeah, so getting to some end game stats right here for Sully. Dorp, he actually has a 75%, ooh, it takes a little bit of damage right there, but 75% door warp success rate, and also a 60% grenade jump one. So pretty good stats overall from Sully's side. It still has a pretty large lead right now, so as long as he doesn't soft lock like a couple times. Oh, is opting because probably maybe feels like his run hasn't been as good, so opting for an extra 6 health for some safety for the swimming section at the end. Not a bad call right there.
No, I think that's a very smart call. I mean, always adjusting your strats and knowing your limitations is a very good thing, especially during this game.
Yeah, so speaking of adjusting strats, Sloaters opting to do a little bit of a safety save right there before this final keystone, and grabs this extra energy, and we'll be heading up to their mini boss right here. As how many tries do you think Sully's going to take on Door Warp?
I want to say first.
All right, I'm also going to go first because I believe in the Door Warp dream. And he does get it first! Yes, very nice. All right, and good job from Sully as he makes his way to the final escape right here. And let's see how he navigates with it with 6 HP. You can't take any damage because, again, the water is poison, and you need a minimum of 4 HP to get through there.
Yeah, and right now, Sloaters is going through the mini boss, does a pretty decently quick kill, I would say.
Gets a nice double kill right there with the stomp. Yeah.
And so now he's just gonna get back through this area, navigate out of it, and as soon as he can pass this beautiful little door. That door does take a while.
Yeah, that's why we do ghost doors everywhere else, because door animations are really slow.
Yes.
So Sully right here, so far so good on the escape, opting to charge flame that barrier right there. A little bit slower, but a little bit safer strat than the charge dash. And is going to be going through this switchback section into this water area. Is going to stall to get the frogs in a little bit better position. And a really great job, I think. Only took 4 HP of damage, so can actually take, I think, one of the mini boulders in here. And is going to go up for the grenade jump. Let's see if you can get it on the first couple tries.
And now while Sully is... Oh, there it is. Sully. There you go, Sully. I want to clap.
Made it super clean right there at the end. So GG to Sully.
First try grenade jump, right?
First try grenade jump, first try door, but epic final split right there in the escape for Sully, and is going to come out with the victory here in this preliminary round in the upper bracket.
Yeah, I mean, Sloaters is doing a great job navigating through Black Room Burrows, and he's going to get down. Hopefully don't get sniped by the laser. Yay! No laser sniping today. And then here's this other laser that there's 2 of.
Yeah, and just gonna come up to grenade right now. Oh, a little bit of problem. I think did not get the right timing. Is gonna take it a little bit slowly. There he goes right there. Good job by Sloaters adjusting. And it looks like Sully finishes with a time of 34:39. So only 8 seconds off of his previous tournament best.
Wow.
So really great job from Sully bringing out a sick run.
GG, Sully. Good job.
Yeah, so we're going to see Sloaters right here getting his final skill in grenade. And yeah, let's see how Sloaters does with final couple splits, going to Horo and then getting to the final escape. Going to some of his stats, door for Sloaters is 22% and grenade jump is 33%. But opting to do some grenade jump swag right here. I think knowing that you already lost the race, is going to try and show some people some swag right here.
I love how it shows the grenade. Whee! The grenade falls. But yeah, so right now neither of these runners aren't gonna PB, but for now I think they did a really great job. You know, this race was very fun. It was nice to see both of these runners race against each other, and I think, you know, Sully did do a great job. I would say mid to late game, definitely.
Yeah, very clean mid to late game. I agree. You know, he I think the only major mistake he did was a second try swamp entry. I think he got everything else like first try, you know.
Oh, since the
yeah, like every other major trick. So I mean, that's really good. And Sloaters actually, you know, he after his a little bit of Ginso spaghetti has had actually a really clean late game overall. So really great job by Sloaters as well.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go to where we know. Oh, that was interesting. And then he levels up. Okay.
Yeah, I was not expecting the level up right there, but apparently was really close to maybe he'll do save drop. I don't know. The old school strat.
Or maybe no. It's okay. That's fine. It's totally fine. I mean, he has clean water. He doesn't need to worry about energies or health cells at this point. Energy, I would say a little bit. But right now, it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to do his horror escape, especially right now with the door warp with controller. Most of the time I just
Oh, rip Baneling! The grenade sniped the Baneling right there. Oh my goodness, that was pretty good.
Romeo and Juliet for some weird reason. They both died.
Oh, he wants this grenade jump, man. He's continuing to try. There he is. He gets it right there.
In there.
Nice little drifting at the end right there as well. So Sloaters will be coming up to door. I believe I'm gonna say first try for Sloaters again. I want double first try.
I want to just say first try, but if he mashes, I don't know. I'm gonna say first try too. Let's see.
All right, and oh, fortunate. So let's see. Let's see if he gets second or third try. Second or third try is still really, really good.
Third. Come on. Third time's a charm. That's what it's always. Third time. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like that was, I think, a little bit late. Oh, gets it fourth try though, so still really good by Sloaters right there, as he's gonna start his final escape right now.
Okay, so I'm definitely interested in seeing how he's going to do this on controller. However, I do this on controller myself at the very end, and so I do know what it looks like, but I want to see how he swims. Because on controller, swimming's easier than it is on KBM.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, once I was learning controller for 2B1C and stuff, and I just realized, man, controller swimming is absolutely free.
It is. So he's going to travel through this, and...
All right, very nice.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of a charge jump right there. It's also another safe strat as well. Instead of doing the charge flame right there, that's really a personal preference. And it's going to be able to swim nice and free and easy through here because, again, got the clean water. Oh, going to do some fish strats. Gets a double bash as well on controller. Sloaters bringing it out. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Not at the end. Not with the fishy.
The fish survived, but Sloaters did not right there, unfortunately. Oh, all right. He's probably going to go for fish strats again, I would guess. Just throwing out a little bit of fun right here, knowing that he already lost the race, but going to show off some swag.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to be, you know, swaggy swag.
Yeah, I agree. I'm always a fan of showing off these old school strats that we really don't see anymore because of the more optimal ones that we found since the last tournament. But all right, it's going to do that. Oh, got to be a little bit careful right there.
Oh, there's a double bash.
You know, that might have been on KBM. I think I saw a mouse cursor on his screen. So, oh, there he gets it.
You'll be surprised whenever you're on controller, the mouse cursor will show up if you don't touch anything, surprisingly enough. So it's hard to know when I'm like switching because sometimes you think I'm doing KBM and I'm not.
Yeah, so GG to Sloaters right here. It looks like is going to get somewhere in the 40 range, I believe, if my math is correct. But a really good job, I'd say. Like outside of the one SAR death, I think Sloaters, you know, post Ginso had a really clean run and I think recovered very nicely.
Oh yeah, definitely. And GG Sloaters, you did perform very well. Love the fish strats, and definitely these two I was happy to see. So now Sully is going to go against Uncle Ronnie.
Yeah, so let's talk about that really quickly. As you know, I think we'll have to see if we're going to get a little bit of a interview with them afterwards, but. Yeah, so Sully's going to go up against Ronnie right now in the upper bracket. So Sully's got a big task out in front of him. You know, Ronnie is, like I said, is one of the favorites for this tournament right now. So, but who knows? We've seen some crazy upsets. I mean, we just saw, you know, like Dedu and Cheese yesterday, that was a major upset that I don't think a lot of people saw coming. So who knows what'll happen in Ori, you know?
Exactly. Anything, honestly, this run, like anytime you make a run out of this game, it's never the same run. It's always different. You're always going to encounter something, and there might be things that you don't see and they come out of nowhere. But now with Sloaters, we got a 40-50 with Sloaters. So you were right, high 40s.
Yeah, so we're gonna see if we get them. Oh, it looks like they're on the index, so hopefully we'll get them in here very, very shortly. But yeah, so what do you think of the race overall, though?
I honestly, like, between the two, it was very good. Very clean on Solian. Sloaters did very well on controller. I don't know, they both impressed me in their different ways.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed commentating this. A lot of really, you know, the spooky moments and whatnot, you know, but they adapted very well in different ways on their movement, as we see the bracket in front of us right here. So again, Sloaters is not eliminated because he was in the upper bracket part of the preliminary round because he got a top half seed. So now he's going to be going up against the winner of the Yoko versus Vanguard preliminary round match. So he's going to have another chance to redeem himself in it. And I believe we are joined by both Sully and Sloaters right now. GG, guys.
Hey, good game.
Hello.
Yeah, good game.
Good game to you both.
Thanks.
So I want to first off, congratulations, Sully. How did you feel for that run, you know, in the different stages of it?
Okay-ish, I suppose. I was happy that I didn't die on wall jump, so that was a plus. I was happy I didn't blow it on magnetless Frankie walk, so that was a plus. Overall, I was pretty happy with it, though. There's definitely some improvements I can make, so I was hoping for a little bit better of a time, but being within, you know, just over a minute of my PB was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you were actually only 8 seconds off of your previous best race time, so you're getting like that consistent on the 34 right there, which is always really great to see.
Yeah, definitely in a race setting. Now for Sloaters, how did you think of your overall run?
Well, I was feeling really good up until about Jinzo, and then everything went a little south, but after that I started feeling pretty good again about mostly everything that happened.
Yeah, because I wanted to say that I really enjoyed how, like, your whole attitude, you could tell that, you know, you had some struggles, but you were able to just kind of have fun with it. And I really admire that, because it's really hard to, you know, once you mess up and then you have that temper going, it's kind of hard to, like, come down and just be like, hey, I'm going to have fun with this. And that's how you took it. And I really appreciate that approach, because you were having fun at the end.
Yeah, I don't really have many like alternate strategies or anything, but I knew when I got the grenade I could start doing some random grenade jumps, and then I also I've done like the fish strats before at the end, so yeah, it was a little fun being able to do those for once.
I also thought a really funny moment at the end right there was when you tried the grenade jump and missed, and the grenade auto-targeted on the Baneling and sniped it. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. So Sully, you know, since you won, you are going to be going up against Uncle Ronnie in the next round. How are you feeling, you know, going up into that match?
I'm gonna win, so I feel pretty good.
Yeah, like you gonna win early. What's gonna allow you to win, the early, mid, or late game, you think?
Oh, I think I have such a good early game, so like standard, I don't know, 330 wall jump or something. I think that'll beat him.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Do you have any other like tricks up your sleeve against Uncle Ronnie?
I'm just gonna cheat, so that's my only plan, really. I don't know. It's gonna be a good race. Really, all I'm hoping for out of that one is if I could PB in a race against Uncle Ronnie, that'd be amazing. So hopefully I can do that. But that's really my expectation.
I feel like that's a very good personal goal, you know, for it as well. You know, especially when you're in that kind of setup, I think just trying to wreck your, you know, not just your race time, but also, you know, wreck your PB as well. Because I know you mentioned before the race how you feel like you have a bunch of time save in the runs. So, you know, I hope that you do actually get that race PB during it.
Yeah, me too. That'd be awesome.
For Sloaters, I did have a quick question. So if I'm understanding this bracket very well, against Yoko or Vanguard, who would you want to be raced against?
I would probably have to say Yoko, just because we got to face each other in the group stage, and it'd be kind of fun to have a rematch with them. I think he's improved quite a bit since our match 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe he at least has a low 40 time, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he's definitely had a lot of improvement. You know, that's a lot of those people who like just put in times just to submit for the tournament or have improved a ton so far, which is really great to see all these like new names that are, you know, making a statement so far. So I think with that, that's gonna wrap it up for us on this edition of Ori and the Blind Forest All Skills Tournament. So tomorrow we have 3 races starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, which I believe the first one is Xavier versus Axitox or Noxatu, and that should be really good. On Speed Gaming, right after this, there is a Sonic Adventure 2 battle tournament. So stay tuned if you're into that stuff. But tonight, that's all for Ori. So Cutie, thank you for commentating with me. It was very fun.
Thank you. I was nervous. Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow at 4 p.m. Have a great rest of your night.
Bye, everybody.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. Wow, Yoko. Oh,
no. Oh, no, Yoko. Oh, my goodness. Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any, like, really bad deaths as a result, but...
Oh, no.
No! Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're going to see what D2 decides to do. Nice safety save there. And wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
It's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus.
Holy
so
crap, Rufus.
Oh,
oh god.
Fix it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh, Monkey's shot going through.
Oh, he's missed the double bash though. He's gonna go back up. Monkey's shots are phasing through. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Jesus, broken his swamp.
Oh, Monkey getting hit by the shot.
Metal that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. Okay, try again. Just this time you can get to the platform.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow.
Man.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that 5th.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh.
Fluffy, what
I didn't know you could do that. Oh, you really just keep moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh god, Ori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no. Oh, Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so painful.
Oh, this is a party. Luckily, he does have a safety.
Yeah, mini boss not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is
he's gone crow!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well. What? This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stopped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs 1. He's got 1 left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got 1 chance left.
1 more.
And he gets it. The
first try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.